Beautiful people around the globe, welcome to another episode of League Unlock. My name is Eric, and I do very much appreciate you hanging out with us today as the off-season news has definitely slowed down over the past week or 10 days, which is a little surprising because there's still so many question marks, more so the other regions outside of North America. Just really waiting on Dignitas to fill out the rest of that roster. But the LCK, the LEC, and especially the LPL, there's still so many question marks of big name players and where they will end up landing. But we do have some info from the LCK because we knew that at least 3 players from Griffin were entering free agency, and one of them has found their new home for the spring split, and it is Lehends, starting support and the best support throughout probably all of 2019. He's joining Hanwha Life, and that roster is now pretty much finalized. There's probably a couple variations that we're going to be seeing, but he joins the bottom lane with Zenit, formerly of KT Rolster. He did not play throughout the majority of the summer split because obviously Prey came out of retirement, but this is kind of what we're looking at for Hanwha. Chovy, Haru, Tempt, Zenit, and Lehends. And a quick note, they do obviously still have Lava on the roster, who may either split time with Tempt in the mid lane like they did in the summer split, or if you've been checking out Lava's solo queue, he has been spamming a lot of AD carry, and maybe Perks has made it just not that out of the ordinary to role swap to ADC, so maybe Lava will actually be splitting time with Zenit in the bottom lane, but definitely expect Lava to still get some games on the Rift for the spring split. This roster initially, it kind of screams being right where Hanwha Life always is, which is just outside of the playoffs in that 6 to 7 seed. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete for one of those top 5 spots because even with a lot of these rosters not finalized, there are still some rock-solid looking teams. SKT, Damwon. Damwon's the exact same. Gen.G looks great. Dragon X remains to be seen what that full roster is going to look like. And the rest of the Griffin players, it's hard to see this roster putting up a top 5 finish, but it is an opportunity for Lehends to really showcase that it's not just because he had a great AD carry at his side. Maybe he can make Zenit look even better. And remember, Zenit is still only 19 years of age, and that was his first professional split that he had on KT Rolster. So people are so quickly dismiss that a player is terrible and the rest of their career they should never get another opportunity. 19 years old, and there were some games, some moments where Zenit actually looked pretty decent. So don't be completely down on him. We still don't know if he's going to be starting every single game, but I think having an experienced support like Lehends, who has been at the top of his game ever since he joined Griffin, is something that maybe he'll be able to evolve and grow a little bit better. Hanwha last year, you remember, was absolutely terrible. For the most part, they had to go to the promotion tournament, but they did get 2 big series wins against Damwon and SKT right near the end of the split, and all of a sudden things started turning around. Obviously not much personnel returning from that roster, Lava and Tempt, and that's pretty much it with Sangyun not being there. By the way, rumored that Sangyun alongside Lyra and Tall, formerly also of Hanwha and SKT, are looking to start up a challenger team to eventually compete and try to qualify for the LCK. It's crazy to think that Sangyun would be going down there. I thought he was just retiring, but maybe he wants another crack at the LCK and making playoffs because we did not see him there enough. But it's a very new look Hanwha. I just don't see them, if that is going to be their final roster, finishing much higher than we're accustomed to seeing them in the LCK. The other big rumors, and there have been rumors circulating this team for a long time, is Dragon X, Deft, CV Max. The suspension is now put on hold, but we don't fully know what that means. Is he still just going to be the head coach until more news or more info comes out? about his suspension. Maybe that's the case because it's getting closer and closer. It's not going to be Lehends coming over to be the starting support alongside Deft. It's obviously going to be somebody different, but Doran and Chovy joining are still very much on the table and seeming more and more likely each and every day as we progress. And how do we know? Well, all you got to look at is the solo queue and, more importantly, the duo queue logs for somebody like Chovy. So Karaya and Siosic are two up-and-coming solo queue talents, and Karaya's been a trainee for Dragon X for a long time, and those two young players and Chovy have been duo queuing a lot lately, and Karaya's obviously been duoing with Deft as well. So big signs pointing towards those three players all being on this Dragon X roster, and if Chovy joins, we know that CV Max was consistently and constantly pushing for Doran to be the starting top laner. They seem to have a great relationship. He helped him out when he had any issues outside of the Rift, so I would not be shocked whatsoever to see Doran come over and fill that top lane role. Another player who's only 19 years of age, and if there's two young talents alongside him on this roster, then CV Max, I mean, he has a chance for Griffin 2.0 to groom a lot of this young talent, and then throw that with somebody like Deft, who has been playing since 2013 at the highest level possible, and that roster looks pretty solid. Obviously, some huge question marks as to how good these young players can actually be on the big stage in the LCK, but I think that is a team that Deft can be somewhat happy with. He's so used to playing with all veterans around him, having the opportunity to maybe help some of these younger players get accustomed to the professional scene, and that would definitely be a playoff team. Chovy and Deft alone as your two carries, that is absolutely incredible, and I think on paper you might even be more excited about this roster if it does come true. We're still in rumors. The only one confirmed is still Deft and CV Max, and we don't even know if he's going to be the full-time head coach. But if this does come true, you might be more excited about this roster on paper than you were initially about the Kingzone roster in 2019 with Pawn, Cuz, and Rascal, because you didn't really know what you were getting with those guys. They had been subs for so long on Kingzone. But if that is the five they come out with, I think I will be very excited about it, and that should very much be a playoff team, maybe even vying for a top 3 spot. Some LPL rumors around the world and from a lot of the casters and people that are deeply involved in the scene. You know, there are still some very big names that we don't entirely know or have any inkling of an idea where they might be ending up. We thought Jackie Love would be going to Suning. He was signing a contract with the Suning jersey behind him. That might not be as confirmed as we initially thought, but what sounds like it's 95% chance of happening is him not returning to IG, and Invictus will be bringing up their trainee AD carry likely for 2020 spring. So maybe he's not going to Suning, but he's not going to IG. Maple, it sounds like he's leaving Suning and signing with LNG to be their mid laner, and they believe that Karsa, again, the rumor mills in the LPL believe that Karsa has signed with the team, but that's not much info. They don't know who the team is, but he's waiting for it to become public, but he has found his roster for the 2020 spring split. GA sounds like it's down to 3 teams, and it sounds like they're probably all within the LPL. He's not going over to Korea or anywhere else. He will be staying in the LPL, down to 3 squads. Don't know who they are, and I love when we get the scrim rumors of Suning's sub-top laner. He was scrimming against Longjing, Gimgoon, and the Shy, and apparently not only beating them, but completely annihilating them and tilting them off the face of the earth. And yeah, I don't think the Shy can tilt somewhat easily, but scrims, getting tilted in scrims and on the main stage are completely different. I don't take too much into scrim rumors, but if that is the case, I would be excited to see this guy on the big stage and see if he can actually perform to the scrim level, because scrim god and stage god is basically the difference between Platinum and Challenger when you're talking about solo queue. But still a lot of dominoes waiting to fall in the LPL before we know what these powerhouse teams are actually going to be looking like.